Yeah, I would be considered a bareback rider. That was what I was. I loved horses, and then from bareback riding, well, basically when you're in the circus, you learn to do a little. It comes, well, to me, it came very natural, and I'm sure to a lot of people it does, and to a lot of people it doesn't. It's like somebody wakes up and they can sing. Well, I can't carry a tune, believe me, but I was very natural. But the horses were my base, I would say, what I did the best. And then I learned to ride elephants, and I could ride the elephants as well as I did the horses, because the horses were running, the elephants weren't running, so it was pretty easy. And I did single traps, and I did a fair single traps. I wasn't the greatest trapeze artist that ever. I was nothing compared to my cousin Dolly. Let me tell you, I wouldn't make a good pimple. And but I did single traps, and I did cradle, where I held my niece while she did tricks. And the only thing I didn't do was juggle, play in the band, or do a flying act.
Going back to writing.
Okay.
Take me through, like, an ideal performance.
An ideal performance.
What would you do?
The tent would be packed.
Definitely ideal.
I don't know. It just kind of depends on what kind of a mood I was in, because I never did anything the same way. To me, it was boring. Like, everybody has a routine that they keep, and they go in. We'll just use, for example, a trapeze act. They'll go in, they'll climb up on their bar, and they'll sit on their bar, and then maybe they'll do a half angel, and then they'll come back around, and they'll go to their knees and take one leg off and touch their forehead with it and come back around. And it would be consistent every day, the same routine, twice a day. Well, that's too boring for me. So just depended on how I felt that day. I might ride in, I might walk in, I might run in, I might run in and do somersaults or flip-flops or something. And sometimes they would be expecting me to come in my costume and stuff, and I would come in dressed like some bag lady with no teeth and black out my teeth. But I would get with the band and have the band play St. Louis Blues or something, and I'd come in doing like but a normal routine would be I'd come in on the back of the horse, I would go around the ring several times, then I would get up on the side, and then turn and look at the audience as I was going around. And then I would swing back around, and I would take my head and try to touch my toes hanging off the side of the horse. Then I would stand up, and then my dad would throw me my hoop, and I would do my hoop routine. I threw the hoop back, and I would sit down and style. And then I would get back up, and I would stand sideways on the horse as he ran and do turns. And then I would, my dad would throw me my jump rope, and I jumped normal rope, and then I tried to do like the boxers where they intercross them, and I'd do that. And then I would give the rope back, and I would turn, and I would stand up backwards, and that's hard, and I could hardly ever do it because I would fall off. And then I would dance on the back of the horse. I would, then we have a thing what we call banners, where I would jump the banners. It was a big pole, and there would be, you know, like the maypoles, is that what they call them? Where they have those streamers out like that? Well, they would be around the ring, anywhere from 2 to 4. It just depended how I felt that day. And it's terrible, isn't it, for me to sit here and say, take advantage of them. And I would jump the banners. Sometimes I would take the horse and strip him nude, is what I would call him, and that would be take his bridle off, take the harness off, and let him just run nude, and I would vault back on him, grab his mane, and vault back on, and ride him nude and jump the banners, and then I would grab his mane, go to my knees, grab his mane, and do a rollover, where I'd roll off, and then I would style and I would leave. And then in later years, I got a bug. Because I was always messing around during the show, during the ride, my principal act and stuff. Like I was telling you, where I'd come in and I'd have them play St. Louis Blues and I'd dress like a bag lady or something, I always wanted to do comedy because I love to make people laugh. And so I got a wild hair up in my behind one day. And I went to Mr. Miller and his daughter Barbara, and I said, I have an idea. I said, I want to try it, and you tell me what you think. And I'm going to tell you it was 1985. It was in 85. And it's like when you try something and eventually you get it perfect, you work out all the little glitches with time. Well, the first time it wasn't it went over tremendous. It went over tremendous. I pretended, they came in, they brought the horses in, and then they would get up and do the pyramid. And at that time I had 3 horses, and Alfredo and Mora were on the pyramid, and then there was you were little then, but you were little, weren't you, Mom? And you did it too. That was later when you held.
Armando.
Oh, that's right. Her and her brother. It was Alfredo and Mora, Armando and Mona, and they did the pyramid. And then they would make an announcement that they were looking for a young lady, 21 years of age or older, who was wanting to run away and join the circus. And if they were interested, to please come and see the ringmaster, and they might get a chance to audition right now. But she has to like horses. Well, we had this announcer who is Latin. So he's making this spiel, right? We're looking for a young lady, 21 years of age or older, who wants to be a whore bareback rider. Couldn't say horse. So we got to where we said, don't even say that, a whore bareback rider. Just say who wants to learn to run away with the circus. So anyway, and we did that, and then of course I would come out and I would go to the back and we would ad-lib like I was from. But I wore a skirt and a sweater, and I had a slip. And that skirt, trying to keep that skirt and stuff. So then eventually with time, like I said, after a while you work out the glitches, and I started wearing pants. And I would buy those pantsuits. I don't know if you remember, they're hard to find anymore. They were pretty much out of cotton, and the top matched the pants, and they were kind of loose. So I bought a bunch of those, and they worked out perfect, because when they pulled my skirt off, of course I still had the slip, but still so then when they pull the pants off, I would have bloomers on, and then that gave away I was with the circus. Because who wears bloomers down to here? Nobody. So then I eventually just bought underwear. Old ladies, cotton, thick underwear. And then when they did pull them off, it looked like you were really from the audience, and I would run out. And then eventually, I wouldn't run out. I would stay on the ring. And I think the kids had Christian was supposed to get that ready so you could see the riding act and how it was when I did the comedy. And I would, at the end, ask the audience, or the announcer would ask the audience if they want to really see me ride, and they would say, yeah, whatever. And then I would undress the horse. I'd make him nude with nothing, and I would vault up and sit, and then I would eventually stand up, roll over and get off and style, and we'd all style. But that was my favorite, was the comedy. I love the comedy act.